When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do meaningful work every day. You get to be the biker who codes as fast as he rides, crafting advanced tech solutions that transform car buying. Or a guitarist who develops harmonious apps and websites, connecting people to people and businesses, all in real time. A savvy soccer mom running solution sets as passionately as she runs gameplays. Be the super secret keeper, designing cybersecurity systems to protect private data and websites. A planet protector, expanding EV battery life and inventing more ways to build a better future for all. When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do career-defining work that solves the greatest problems of our time. Join us and connect to work that improves lives, including yours. Learn more about our family of businesses at cox.career/tech.
Oh, sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver Common Sense Show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. I always have a problem with the mic when I first start up. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join a live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one, click on the live stream, and watch a live show. If you want to support the show, or if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one, click on the Reaver store, pick up a t-shirt, coffee mug. You can even get it, Reaver or SHR Media jersey. Many items to choose from, and we make it as easy as possible that even a liberal can do it. How you doing, Dan? Let's see, where are we this morning? Oh, nice friendly reminder. Don't forget, 8 o'clock tonight, 8 p.m., right here on shrmedia.com. And by the way, that's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver After Dark with the Jersey Boys, me, Jersey Joe, with Crash. It's basically two bumbling idiots talking politics and having fun. So, police have charged the campaign manager for Donald Trump. And I know I pissed off they charged him with a misdemeanor battery against Michelle Fields. Now, without knowing the specifics, I will go on a limb and say that they're charging just because of the high publicity it has. They're not going to make a decision because then it looks like they're having favoritism. They're going to let a jury or a grand jury decide if there's going to be a court case or not. I looked at it not just because I'm a Trump supporter. I have seen a lot of Cruz supporters and non-Cruz supporters that watched it and said, nah, that's not really an assault or even a battery. She was warned by the Secret Service to stay back. All he did was place his arm on hers, gently pulled her back to get her away. So they're making a big to-do about this. And as Trump said, all right, I give him a little bit credit. He's going to let it play out and then make a decision. Too many people nowadays, and I had this in my personal life. All right, a person gets charged nowadays, and immediately everybody runs. There was an incident with my wife where she got charged with something. She was innocent. She was innocent. Her company fired her. Guess what? Charges got dropped. And there's nothing we can do. Just because someone is charged does not make them guilty. And that's what I'm saying. I pissed off a liberal last night, and I loved it. Oh, it was so much fun. This liberal was going on about that Trump has been investigated for inciting riots. He cannot be the president. He incited or investigation of inciting riots. He has a campaign manager that is accused of misdemeanor battery. We cannot have that type of person in the White House. So my simple comment back was, hang on one second. So my simple question back was, then Hillary Clinton should not be allowed to run. She is being investigated by over 150 FBI agents. So by your theory, she is no longer innocent. She is guilty. She is being investigated. Yeah, that didn't go over too well. Because how are they going to argue back that, no, that's different? She's being investigated. So they shouldn't be allowed to run. That shut that person up real quick. But nearly a month of jousting on social media climated Tuesday in an arrest of a top Donald Trump presidential campaign aide on misdemeanor battery charges following a March 8th incident involving a reporter. Michelle Fields, then with the online Breitbart News service, alleges that Trump campaign manager forcefully grabbed her at a news conference at a Trump National Golf Club in Juniper. Here's the funny thing. That is owned by Trump. He turned that over directly to the police. He turned over the tapes. They also view it as her comments and her statements are not matching up with what happened on the video. And if he gets charged for a misdemeanor battery for placing his hand on her and pulling her back, then she needs to be charged for placing her hands on Donald Trump, which at that point would be a federal incident. Because she placed her hands on him unwanted at the same time. Well, not the same time, but you know what I mean. She placed her hands on him, but nobody's pressing charges on that part. And as much as I don't like Piers Morgan, he made a good comment. If this was a male reporter, that male reporter would have been shamed and ridiculed by now. Everybody would have been jumping over how weak he is. Women want to be treated equal. Then they can't say that she is a delicate flower and can't be touched, but a man can be pulled back to be pulled away from the person. She was invading his space. Now, granted, the campaign manager should have let Secret Service handle it. But all he did was intervene and stopped her from touching Trump and trying to go further with the interview. This was not a violent incident. This was not her getting knocked on her ass like she claimed. And if she bruises that easy, she needs to go to a doctor and find out what's going on, that she is bruising that easy. But I also said I like that Trump is letting it play out. He is not running away from his people just because there's a small problem. Now, if he gets charged and convicted, I could see him saying, hey, you gotta go. But too many times nowadays, just because there's a air of an illegal activity, everybody runs from the people. I've had it in my life. When I was younger, I worked for an armored cars service. And we lost some money. No, we did not steal it. We lost some money. But because I was underneath the FBI investigation, you ought to have seen the people that scattered away from me. I found out who my true friends were. Because there was a lot that stuck around. Do I still get jokes about it nowadays? Hell yeah. Do I still make jokes? Hell yeah. But just because someone is accused does not make them guilty anymore. And we have gone so far away from our foundation, it's really getting sick. And he wasn't issued a warrant. He was issued a to appear ticket. And he turned himself in for it. So, it's just... I don't know. This is just turning out to be a big circus show. And it makes me question with the timing. I don't know. It just. Oh. But these are the perils that you go to when you decide to run for a high office. Instead of being about the politics and policy, it turns into a circus. And these people think that by causing these issues, people are going to turn away from Trump. Now, some people are fed up with a lot of shit. And they're not going to turn just because of this little dog and pony show. The campaign manager was issued a notice to appear on a misdemeanor battery charge. The New York City resident is expected in Palm Beach County Circuit Court May 4th. Fields filed a report with police within a week of the incident. On Tuesday, town police released surveillance footage of the alleged battery. They said corroborated Fields' claims, prompting them to file the battery charges. The problem is, it is not matching up with her testimony. Fields is seen walking to the right of Trump with campaign manager, following closely behind the Republican presidential frontrunner. The campaign manager appears to reach for Fields' left arm, then she quickly jerking backwards. That's what they call quickly jerking backwards? Yeah, that officer needs to have his vocabulary readjusted. Following the incident, Fields released photos of bruises on her arm on Twitter. The campaign manager responded directly to Fields' tweet saying, "You are totally delusional. I never touched you. As a matter of fact, I've never met you." And if you look at it, he didn't know who the hell she was. How many people does he pull away from Trump? Or step in front of, or plays the defender? Trump's campaign denied the allegations when they surfaced and continued to deny them following his arrest, saying Tuesday that the campaign manager was absolutely innocent. Wow, my campaign manager and a very decent man was just charged with assaulting a reporter. Look at the tapes, nothing there. Within 5 minutes, Fields tweeted back, "Because my story never changed. Seriously, stop lying." The problem is, her story has changed. It went from she was almost flown back and knocked on her back end to she was pulled back away from Trump. It wasn't violently. The incident came amid a month of disruption at Trump's public events, capped by canceled rallies in Illinois March 11th as tensions mounted between supporters and protesters. Days before, a protester was punched at a North Carolina rally. Trump often faltered the protesters from the podium. They're taking away our First Amendment rights. They're troublemakers. They're no good. We better be careful. We've got to take our country back, folks. Yes, that is so much incitement, violence, and riots. And I was being sarcastic. I do not condone what has happened, but the fever pitch and the The people that have been silent for years are sick and fucking tired of the bullshit that are going on in this country. We're sick and fucking tired of the left and their bullshit. That does not give the person right to start swinging and being the aggressor. But people are tired of it. The shit has been going on for years, and people are starting to fight back. The left has caused this atmosphere. They have blatantly caused it over the last several decades. I think it's went on longer than I thought it would. This is something that has been pushed and pushed for years. But yet, the mass media has a tendency to blow it up and not talk about what actually is going on. The Republican establishment just doesn't understand what the hell's going on. They don't understand our, anger. It's good to be angry. It's how you deal with your anger is the issue. You can turn that anger into a productive event, or you can let it consume you. I'm tired of them. Oh, they're angry. How dare they be angry? You fucked us over for how many decades? We're pissed off. Yes, we're angry. It's called being human. It's called having emotions. And yes, the same emotion is fueling Cruz party. Campaign. Some of them. You always have those ass kissers. Oh, look at them. They're angry. Damn right I'm angry. I'm angry that we've been screwed over for years, that the Republican establishment has screwed us over, that the liberals have destroyed this country. We were once a leader. Now we are a follower. And what's really scary is they don't even realize just how bad this country is because they blindly follow their political leaders. They don't question. Unless it's a Republican, then they question. It's getting out of hand in this country. And yes, people are lashing out. And I do not agree with it. I do not call for violence. But I think it's showing just how close we are to the tipping point. And then you're going to have the government going, oh, we don't know why they did it. Holy shit, look at that. Oh, look at these terrorists. No, we're pissed off citizens. You have ignored us. You do not own this country. We, the people, own the country. You work for us. You do not rule us. Get that through your head. And that's the problem. They think they rule us. The federal government owns all this stuff. No, it doesn't. The people own all that stuff. And you act like you are above us. Campaign manager is represented by Scott Richardson of West Palm Beach and Kendall Coffey of Miami. Richardson was part of a team of attorneys who defended Wellington Polo Club founder John Goodman in his second DUI manslaughter trial. Goodman was convicted for a second time and serving a sentence in state prison. Coffey is a former federal prosecutor who resigned from the U.S. State's Attorney's Office in 1996, a few months after he allegedly bit a stripper at a Dade County club. He represented former Vice President Al Gore during the Florida presidential election recount of 2000 and unsuccessfully defended Fort Lauderdale law firm of Rothstein, of a Ponzi scheme charge. The battery charge the campaign manager is facing is punishable by 1 year in jail, 1 year in probation, and a $1,000 fine. Simple battery or touching or striking a person without permission is a misdemeanor charge unless it is a repeat offense, according to state statutes. Then it becomes a felony and subject to stronger penalties. Following the alleged battery, Fields resigned from Breitbart, a website known for political conservative views. She cited Breitbart's refusal to stand behind her amid the allegation as her reason for leaving. And also finds funny, all this comes on the heels of her getting ready to release a book. She has wrote a book and needs publicity. Ben Shapiro, former Breitbart editor-at-large, also resigned, claiming in a prepared statement that the conservative news outlet, seen largely as supportive of Trump's presidential bid, abandoned Fields in order to protect Trump's bully campaign manager. At least 2 other employees followed suit in the following weeks and resigned, according to multiple reports. Rivals of Trump pounced Tuesday shortly after the announcement of the battery charge, criticizing the GOP frontrunner and his campaign. Ted Cruz's campaign accused the campaign manager of abusive behavior reflective of Trump's campaign. John Kasich, top strategist, branded Trump's campaign manager as a bully. This is This is turning into a joke. And Cruz better watch throwing stones because he does live in a glass house. And what I mean by that, he has issues going on in his campaign also. And they're coming out more and more and more. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and HPPundit.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. You didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the ReaverCommonSense.com. While you're there on Reaver Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I am trying to make sense out of the senseless. It's a long way from that. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, if you want to join the live chat, go to shrmedia.com. Click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.1. Click on the live show button. If you want to support the show, or if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.1 and click on the Reaver store. Snatch up a t-shirt, coffee mug, or even a Reaver jersey. Hell, even pick up an SHR Media jersey. There are so many to choose from. Why don't you pick up one of each? So, now Donald Trump's asking if he could press charges. Secret Service says Michelle Fields touched Trump before campaign manager intervened. Donald Trump asked on his Twitter account whether he could press charges against Michelle Fields. As the Daily Mail prints purported, quote, from an anonymous Secret Service agent in Trump's secret detail, claiming Fields was warned she was too close to the billionaire presidential candidate. Republican frontrunner Donald Trump, campaign manager, has been charged with simple battery and grabbing a reporter in a case that may hinge on a Secret Service claim that the journalist first made unwanted physical contact with Donald Trump. Victory press conference was over. Why is she allowed to grab me and shout questions? Can I press charges? Tweeted this afternoon. And then Michelle Fields, in her own words, I was jolted backwards. Someone had grabbed me tightly by the arm and yanked me down. I almost fell to the ground, but was able to maintain my balance nonetheless. I was shaking. Campaign managers aren't supposed to try to forcefully throw reporters to the ground, was Michelle Fields' original statement. Watch the video. You're going to have your own opinion. I can't tell you either way. I mean, I don't think it's a violent that is worthy of charges. I've seen more contact in, everyday life than that. It's just, she's trying to make a name for herself, and she didn't like that she wasn't allowed to get her questions in. But speaking on conditions of anonymity, a member of Trump's Secret Service detail told DailyMail.com on Tuesday that Fields touched Trump twice and was warned by agents to stop. She crossed in between agents and our protectee after being told not to, said the agent, who was present that night in Jupiter. Oh, God. Tongue twister. Now, they jump all over Trump. Now, I'm wondering why the mass media, mainstream media, the nut jobs, Kasich's Second Amendment problem. Governor John Kasich hopes that he had overcome the anti-gun reputation he had earned for supporting the Clinton gun ban in 1994 may now be dashed after he told two separate Sunday talk shows that he would considering nominating a Supreme Court justice who might abolish the Second Amendment. While Kasich often calls himself a conservative when running in GOP primaries, those familiar with his record say he is the epitome of an established moderate. He joined Obamacare by forcing through its Medicaid expansion over the opposition of the Ohio legislature. Supports Common Core, tells conservatives that they need to drop opposition to same-sex marriage, and even believes that Christian bakers who still support traditional marriage should be required to bake cakes for a same-sex wedding that violate their faith. Personally, I don't give a shit what you do in the bedroom. That's your personal life. When it comes to the marriage, if I get to be condemned, so should they. But when it comes to these bakeries, I wouldn't want somebody to bake a cake for me that didn't approve of my lifestyle. I wouldn't want them making it. It would be in the back of my head, what did they do to the cake? They hate what I do. What did they do to the cake? I have seen videotape of people going into a Muslim bakery. They refused. The left ignored that. Christians, same thing. It's ignored. I just... The double standard is absolutely ridiculous. But in recent years, one issue on which Kasich had followed the conservative line is the right to keep and bear arms. And a testament to the National Rifle Association's political prowess and strategic planning, there are a few parts of the country where Republicans can win primaries without pledging support for the Second Amendment. The same holds true even for Democrats in the general election of many states. This was a problem for Kasich back in 1994 before the NRA conclusively proved they had mastered the ability of mobilizing gun rights supporters. Kasich voted for the Clinton gun ban, although called by the poll-tested term assault weapons ban. Assault weapons, yeah. And if you haven't, you need to go through my past shows, find my 2 tickets to the gun show. I do not like the term. Yeah, got a bug or something flying around. I do not like the term assault weapon ban, or even assault weapon. Because saying it's an assault weapon based on appearance is like saying a little rice rocket, you put flames on it, and a wing, and now it's a race car. It has nothing to do with its ability. And everybody automatically thinks on the left, these anti-gunners that don't know guns think assault weapon is an automatic rifle. No, it isn't. That has nothing to do with the ban. It has to deal with appearances. And it's a scary name. And that's what the left and the lawyers love to do. They play with words. And they make it sound real scary. It's an assault weapon. Please. The NRA surged as never before after that bill became a law. And the Clinton gun ban partly led to one of the most catastrophic election cycles Democrats had ever seen. The GOP gained a majority in the U.S. House for the first time in 40 years, and the Republicans took control of the U.S. Senate as well. Cash kept his congressional seat, but there was no way he could erase his vote. Instead of saying he opposed gun bans because they violate the Second Amendment, Cash currently says he is no longer supports them because the bans he has seen are not effective. He'll even open the possibility that he could support new gun bans if he thinks one would be effective. But as the years passed and Kasich did not support any new gun control bill, this incident faded from memory. Gun owners become less concerned about Kasich's former opposition to gun rights. Until last week when Kasich told CBS Face the Nation and separately told NBC's Meet the Press that he would consider nominating Judge Merrick Garland to take the Supreme Court seat of Justice Anthony Scalia, the famous author of the historic Second Amendment case District of Columbia versus Heller. But the NRA strongly opposes Garland's nomination to the Supreme Court. Chief lobbyist Chris Cox explains that Scalia's death could result in the end of the individual gun owner in the United States, discussing Garland's record and concluding that it shows he will join the liberal justice to overturn Heller at the first opportunity. After Kasich's statement supporting Garland, NRA members are looking at the Buckeye State's governor with skeptic eye. After one of the interviews, he issued a short retraction that NBC Chuck Todd mentioned on the air, but gun owners seem unconvinced by what they regard as a half-hearted attempt at political damage control. I noticed nobody jumps all over Kasich on his gun bans. I know he's kind of an afterthought, but everybody's going on Trump from what he said God knows how many years ago. This man would nominate a Supreme Court judge that would ban our Second Amendment right. It's dangerous. Very dangerous. And is there a chance this guy possibly could have made a deal that in a contested convention that he could get the votes to be our nominee? That's scary as hell. And everybody's been looking at Trump while in the meantime this guy stayed in the background, slithered his way in with his anti-gun agenda and background. And everybody was too busy jumping on the punch Trump ticket that they don't notice there is a real anti-gun in the midst. I don't hear anybody jumping all over his campaign. This is the man that was spending several $1 million in nasty anti-Trump agendas, then sat at a debate going, I'm not for this dirty stuff. I don't agree with it and I don't condone it. He was one of the first ones that had the commercials out there being vile and disgusting. But everybody ignored it. This is a man that pushed Obamacare onto his people. But that is okay. I worry about a person when he sits there. I was the one that balanced the federal budget. I balanced Ohio's budget. I hate that. It was not him. He was the mouthpiece out front, yes. But there was many people behind him that came up with those plans. And yes, I have heard Trump say that he will surround himself with the right people. That is what a great leader is. That's what makes him so successful. He may have the ego, but he also understands he is nothing without the people surrounding him. And that's what we have a problem with our current administration. The current president pushes away the people that are the expert. He has to be the smartest one in the room. And that's the danger. Kasich has not given any major speeches about the importance of nominating conservative judge to the federal branch. Take it with a statement of support for what most Republicans regard as a liberal Democrat Supreme Court nominee and his flip-flop on guns ban, there is a growing chance that Kasich could lose critical gun owner voters in the remaining GOP primaries. And if he was the candidate, I cannot see under any circumstances of him winning the general. I know polls show. Polls showed that Mitt Romney was in the lead. Polls showed that Romney should have won that with ease. Well, we have Obama for a second term. I guess those polls aren't that correct. Polls showed Trump ahead in, what was it? Oh, Iowa? Idaho? The first caucus we had for this primary. Sorry, so much shit going on, my brain went blank. But polls showed him ahead on that. Polls have shown a lot of things that never come about. Yeah, I'm going to look it up now because that's going to bother me that I can't remember the name. Iowa. Trump was leading, and that's not the way it came about. Well, it's that time. And remember, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Kafka was stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverbcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reverb Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Just trying to make sense out of the senseless, and it is not an easy endeavor in today's environment. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a live broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. If you want to support the show, go to SHR Media. Go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. Pick up a t-shirt, coffee mug, or even a jersey or two. There's also a lot of items to choose from even a welcome mat. Now, I just saw an article real quick I was looking at. Our own Sackhead Sean posted, and the commentary that he put on it was just hysterical. Let me pull it up, if I can find it again. The satire that Sean has is just beautiful. So in the meeting room, you have Zuckerberg. Quick, how do I make the news again? Advisor, you're a billionaire. Say something stupid, anything, and press will bite. Zuckerberg, I got this. And the headline is, Mark Zuckerberg says love will defeat Islamic State. He's been talking with Justin, the Prime Minister for Canada, Trudeau, something like that. Mr. Letter Writing Campaign will stop ISIS. So now we got Zuckerberg, who was brave enough to scam the idea of Facebook, coming up with the idea love will. Yeah, go over there and give them some love and let me know how it goes about. I'm pretty sure I'll see in the news as they chop your head off with a buck knife. And just remember, as they're doing it, scream, I love you, I love you. Moron. Dad, whose son was killed by illegals. Ted Cruz angrier about Donald Trump's tweets than illegal immigrant killers. And no, don't give me he's against illegal immigrants. He has voted to increase. Oh, it's two different, but he's voted to increase the migrants coming into this country highly. He's gone to illegal border camps in Texas and handed out soccer balls and so forth. His church is making millions of dollars of helping those illegal immigrants. So don't tell me he is against illegal immigrants. It's like we've got a voice now. People are listening, says 53-year-old Billy Inman, whose teenage son was murdered by an illegal alien nearly 16 years ago. Donald Trump gives us a little bit of hope. For years, I've talked to our elected one, and it was like I was talking to a wall. But Donald Trump is bringing us onto his stage. In June of 2000, the Inman family, Billy, Kathy, and their 16-year-old Dustin, and their dog Lucky, were on their way to enjoy an early Father's Day family fishing trip. They were stopped at a traffic light when an illegal alien rear-ended their car at over 60 miles an hour, killing Dustin instantly. Billy and Kathy were knocked unconscious. When Billy finally regained consciousness days later, he found himself in a world in which his son was dead and his wife was in a coma. Kathy remained in a coma for 5 weeks and suffered spinal injuries that would render her confined to a wheelchair for the rest of her life, and would force her to endure unending pain, weekly doctor's visit, and frequent medical procedures. They didn't even get to go to their son's funeral. The doctors told our family members that they didn't know if we would live or not. I was in the hospital nearly 2 weeks after the crash, and Kathy was in the hospital for 3 months. The families, my mother and her father, got together and made the decision to hold the funeral without us. Billy and Kathy said that this tragedy and their subsequent efforts in the fight to close Americans' borders made their choice of whom to vote for in the 2016 election plainly simple. I vote for Trump because of the way he feels about illegal immigration. He's going to do something about it, Kathy stated. As a result of the car crash, Kathy now suffers from dystonia, a neurological movement disorder, which causes her muscles to involuntarily contract and twist painfully and uncontrollably. Donald Trump loves America, Billy explained. This is a man, one of the richest people that we have. He could live anywhere in the world if he wants to, but he chooses America. He lives in New York and Florida. He raises his kids here, his grandkids here. He loves America. Billy went on that he does not believe any other politicians running for president are committed to securing the national border. Cruz is a talker, Billy explained. He could talk about it, but I haven't seen nothing done. He might come out, especially during election time, and say this needs to be done and that needs to be done, but nothing has ever gotten done on illegal immigration with any teeth to it. He's going to be more of the same. He didn't say nothing about this until Donald Trump got into it. Why? I wish he, meaning Cruz, cared about as much about the American people and got as angry about what's happening to us as he's gotten about Donald Trump's tweeting about his wife. Tim explained he does not foresee Cruz being any different than George W. Bush on the issue of immigration. Bush broke my heart. He was more of the same, more of the open border stuff. Ted Cruz will be more of the same too. He's more establishment than Donald Trump. Billy went on, it's not just Cruz, Bush, or Obama. It's every one of our elected ones from every city, state, town that we have. Everybody's passing the buck, and it falls back on the working man. The legal American folks are the ones who are losing, and it ain't right. My son's killer is still running. Everyone just keeps kicking this can down the road. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again. The politicians do not want to correct certain problems. They do not want to correct the illegal immigration problem. What would they complain about if they fixed it? Every election they would have one last thing to point fingers at. And that goes for Republican and Democrat. They keep pointing their fingers at each other, but yet they never do anything. Both parties have had their chance to fix the issue, and yet they do nothing. It is an old story. And there's a lot of issues like this. Nobody wants to fix Social Security. Nobody wants to fix the welfare system. What would they complain about during primary and election season? If they actually did their jobs and got off their ass, What would they complain about and point their finger at the other party for? It's easier to talk about negatives than it is about positives. People, we've tried a lot of different things. We voted in the same politicians over and over again. Sorry, I've seen Cruz's kind before. I fell for the bullshit. So this time, I'm going to try something a little different. It's another reason amongst many that I am supporting Trump. I've tried to believe in these politicians over and over and over again with the same goddamn response. How many of you have backed a candidate because they talk the talk? And you thought, finally, here's a politician that's going to do what needs to be done. And they turn out to be the same as any politician. We keep doing the same thing over and over again. And no offense to lawyers, they have their place, but we keep electing lawyers that keep fucking this country up even worse and keep messing up our laws even worse. They make these laws so open to interpretation that there is no definitive of one way or another. Because that's what lawyers do. They play with words. I am sick and tired of this shit, people. I am sick and tired of politicians, yes, like Cruz, Kasich, Sanders, Clinton. I am tired of it. And as Bill goes on, he says, what have they done to help? People don't really care about me. Anytime I see somebody, they say, my condolences, I'm sorry for you. But nothing's been done. I want people to be involved in this issue without having to join this club of the American victims of illegal alien crime that we have been thrown into. We have got to have a voice somewhere. Politicians like Donald Trump give us a little bit of hope. It gives some kind of hope to me because there is so many people that have tried to bring attention to this stuff, but they're knocked down. They are tired. I feel like I've talked to this wall so many times. For years, I've talked to our elected ones, and it was like talking to a wall. Billy said that he has also concerned about Heidi Cruz's endorsement and co-authorship of a 2000 report entitled Building a North American Community. A lot of elites are trying to have this North American Union, this superhighway from Texas to Canada. Look how many of them are supporting that. Billy said that, by contrast, Donald Trump will be beholden to corporate donors, will not be beholden to corporate donors or open border special interests. He's funding all of this himself, and he is not scared. He is not backing down from nothing. Billy said that he was not surprised that Cruz had recently earned the endorsement of open borders advocate Senator Lindsey Graham. I look at it like this. They're all establishment, and that's why the establishment likes Ted Cruz. And don't give me this bullshit that they do not like Ted Cruz. They are backing him. The Bush family is behind him, working for him. He himself, Cruz, has worked for Bush for years. He has been in office for a while, and he's more of the same stuff that they've done. Donald is rocking their boat. Trump has got more of the American people involved now. He's got more people now involved in this and speaking their minds about it. The everyday working man. We were the silent majority. Now we're speaking up. We have a voice to speak up. I met him one time for a couple of minutes, and his handshake meant the world to me. It was firm. It wasn't paper. He's got all of Washington shook up, and they're trying to get rid of him. Billy said that the money the special interests have poured into the Never Trump movement could have been better used to help America. For as much money as they've spent, there should be nobody that's hungry in America. There's so much waste, and there shouldn't be nobody hungry in America. They have poured in more money into stopping Trump than I've ever heard them do for any other candidate. Don't give me this, he's divisive, he's causing divide. The fucking divide was already here. It was here before Trump ran. Everybody's found an easy target for a man that speaks up. Everybody wants people to speak up, and when they do, the same people knock them down. I am sick and tired of that. Everybody crying and whining. They want a voice. They want somebody to stand up. And as soon as somebody stands up, they knock them down. I am sick and tired of that. Is anybody else tired of that? Every time someone stands up to speak what needs to be spoken, to talk about the real issues, they get knocked down because they're not falling in line with the establishment. No more. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on shrmedia.com and hbpundit.com. We'll be right back.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the ReaverCommonSense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.one, click on the live stream. If you want to support the show, or if you want to support shrmedia.com, go to Reaver.one, click on the Reaver store, pick up a t-shirt, coffee mug, or even a Reaver jersey, SHR Media jersey, and many other items to choose from. So a top jihadi doubles down. They're doubling down. Will the bet pay off? All right, that was... ISIS recruited airport staff. For the second time in recent days, a top jihadi operative in the Gaza Strip claimed that the Islamic State has recruited agents among airport personnel worldwide. So it's Abu Aliana Al-Sazar, Anna Sazar, a AAA. That's even more than AAA. That's a 5-time A. 5-time A top jihadi operative. Mr. A was speaking at Breitbart, Jerusalem on Tuesday from the Gaza Strip. He made the comments in the wake of a hijacking of an Egypt Air plane. Okay. It's mentally, when you see air and plane together, you want to say them together, but this is Egypt Air space plane. So it was throwing my brain for a total loop, going, which forced to land in Cyprus by a passenger claiming to be wearing an explosive suicide belt. The alleged hijacker named, holy shit, we'll just call him Mustafa, has been taken into custody amid conflicting reports about his motivation. Some are saying the hijacker was seeking to talk to his estranged wife who lives in Cyprus, while other reports are claiming the man presented political demands, including the release of female prisoners in Egypt. Mustafa 5-time A stressed that he does not know the hijacker or his motives. However, the jihadist warned, regardless of today's incident, the Islamic State has successfully recruited collaborators among airport personnel around the world. All I know is that our brothers invest a lot of effort in making it happen, he said, referring to the possibility of future attacks on airliners. He further said on Tuesday that the ISIS affiliate in Egyptian peninsula has made significant gains, is ready to spread inland towards Cairo and the Nile Delta. In an earlier interview broadcasted Sunday on the Aaron Klein Investigative Radio, 5A said that Mustafa will be at the forefront of ISIS battle against Israel. Wait a minute. No. And that the days until the group carries out attacks on the south of Israel are numbered. In the same interview, Ansari claimed ISIS has agents working in Western airports, metro stations, and very sensitive facilities in the world. Ansari is well-known Giza, Salafist jihadi allied with Islamic State ideology. Holy shit, the goddamn alphabet soup names that are going on. Whew. Why do I pick these articles? Why? Why? Because I want to get this information out. I look like an idiot because they got alphabet soup names. During his most recent interviews, that was cheap and bad. But it doesn't make it less true, but hey. You know what? I'm not sorry. If you don't like my sense of humor, yeah. Ansar seems to be speaking as an actual ISIS member, repeatedly using the pronoun we when referring to ISIS and even seemingly making declaration on behalf of ISIS. ISIS has been reluctant to officially declare its presence in Giza for fear of a Hamas clampdown. But the group is known to be active in the coastal enclave, and Assad is a suspected ISIS leader. ISIS-aligned militants have taken responsibility for recent rocket fire from the Giza aimed at Israel. Yes, let's just show our love for ISIS. Let's just write letters. That'll stop them. They're expanding and getting almost in every country. They're expanding like a bad virus. You cannot combat a virus with love. People, our current attempts at combating ISIS is not working. This lobbing of rockets here and there. I was talking with my dad, and I said the best way, this is the way I look at the current fight that we have against ISIS. We're going in with these jets and bombing certain targets. It'd be like me standing outside my dad's house, picking up little rocks and pebbles and throwing it at the house. Yeah, I might break a window or two, but I'm not really destroying the house. I just making it look a little ugly. These attacks that we're doing are not really they're hurting the cosmetics, so to speak, of ISIS. Now, you either come in with a bulldozer or a wrecking ball, or you get a big enough stone to drop on the house to destroy it. You can't destroy it with little rocks one at a time. We are not making headway. Every now and then we have a good attack, and we might hit 1 or 2 leaders. But that is a slow process. When we are allowing ISIS to go on the offensive. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to explain it. I got it in my head. But when you sit here and do what we're doing, we're not throwing ISIS onto the defensive. So they have time. They could sit back in their buildings or whatever, and as the pebbles hit their house, they could work out a plan on how to attack anybody and everybody. But if we take the fight to them and we have it where they're so busy trying to defend that house, defend their lives, they don't have time to plan offensive attacks elsewhere. They're too worried about the there and the now. But what we're doing, they're just sitting back in their office and, okay, a little noise outside. All right, we can attack this country, we can attack this country, we can attack that country. We go on the offensive, we attack them. Oh, wait. Look, another BB gun just shot us. Wow, bang. Oh, wow. You go at them, and where they don't have the ability to sit there and make these plans where they're constantly being attacked, they won't have time. They won't have the ability to, hey, okay, you're going to go to that country, and you're going to go to that country. No, you're not going to make a slushie. You're going to make a bomb. You're going to go to that country. No slushies, I tell you. You're going to make bomb, and you're going to go boom. They have time to do that, make those plans, because they're not under attack. They're not under fear that they're going to die at any moment. I know they're not afraid of dying, but they have time to make those plans. If they're too busy defending, it's hard to go on offensive. I didn't say it's impossible. I said it's hard. These people are not trained military. You let our military do what it does, and we won't have a problem anymore. Our biggest issue in this country is letting politics get involved in a war. Having politicians run the war. Run a war that they are not trained in running. Yes, I know the president is in charge. I also have music playing in my ears, so. And that would be for the people watching the live stream. What we're doing is not effective. I know Obama says it's effective. If he says he's the Pope, that doesn't make him the fucking Pope. People, wake up. We got to do more at combating, because they're going to be turning their attention back on us soon. They have been doing little here, little there, little here, little there. They're spreading it out because we don't know where they're going to hit next. They're putting what seems a lot of false information out there into the world to knock us off our game. So we need someone that's not afraid to have a set of balls and attack them. We got a leader that's too afraid to upset anybody. And yes, I've heard him talk about it'll hurt the environment if we blow it up. We can't blow it up. It'll put some greenhouse gas into the air. Yeah, so does dead bodies composing. I don't know. I don't know anymore. It's getting nuts. I don't know what we're going to do. They're going to be attacking Israel soon, and I know this administration is not going to do anything to help Israel. Israel be out on its own. Obama doesn't care for our allies. He wants to be friends with our enemies. Our enemies do not want to be friends with us. But yet he keeps apologizing. And if you don't think he does, watch what he did in Cuba. They were bashing us, and he sat there, sorry about that. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I'd be like, listen here, bitch. We just lifted the embargo, and you're going to bash us? We can put you back on the embargo and keep anything from going back and forth again. I went against my people's will to do this, and you're going to bash us? Nah, I don't think so, people. It's a never-ending endeavor when you're running behind. And that's our country now. We are behind, and we need to catch up. I don't know. We have too many of these groups running around, and we're allowing them to set up strongholds in other countries. That's never a good thing. Never. And this is what I mean by we're leading from behind. We're following. We're not leading. We would have never taken this backdoor approach. We would have been attacking the whole time if we had... Even Bill Clinton wouldn't have taken this shit. Bill Clinton would have stepped up a lot better than Obama has. All right, I'm not trying to prop Bill Clinton up, but you know what? He at least would have been, no. All right, we're going to do a shock and awe. We're going to bomb the shit out of him. I don't agree with that tactic, but he would have actually went after targets when he goes bombing. What was it, Kosovo or Bosnia? He went in on the bombing missions, but at least he went after targets. He didn't sit there and, all right, we're going to go hit that empty building. Hey, Bosnia. Yeah, I just want to call and let you know, we're going to be bombing this building later on tonight. Yeah, I'm giving you a heads up so nobody gets hurt. I don't want anybody getting hurt in this. And make sure that you take all greenhouse-type gases that would burn up. And, you need an extra day? Okay, we'll give you 2 days to get everything out of there. Okay, thank you. You have a good day, too, and good luck. I mean, that's what it sounds like what Obama's doing. Yeah, ISIS, yeah, glad you picked up. You haven't picked up my last couple of calls, and I thought you were mad at me, and I just want to give you a heads up. We're going to be bombing your bomb-making factory. Yeah, we're going to be doing that tonight. Tonight's not good for you? Well, how long do you need to clear out all your personnel and everything? Oh, you need about a week? Yeah, I can push it off I'll give you a week and a half. Yeah, so how you doing? Hello? All right. He hung up on me. Come on, people. We need a president with a set of balls. Yeah, ISIS. You want to look up? Yeah, see that thing falling? Yeah, up. I guess the bomb hit. It blew up already. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on shrmedia.com and hppundit.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying coffee was stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. Welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Whew. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.1. Click on the live stream. Go ahead and watch. If you want to support the show, go to SHR Media. Well, that was totally wrong. Sitting here trying to rush through it. So, if you want to support the show, and if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.1 and click on the Reaver store. Pick up a t-shirt, coffee mug, or even a jersey. So, where were we? I was like running around trying to get stuff done. All right. The GOP leadership failed to negotiate Syrian refugee screening in omnibus bill. Called it a non-starter for Dems. There's been a lot of stuff that's been non-starter for Republicans that always get put in there, and we always end up compromising on it. But when it comes to the Dems, it's, that's going to be okay, we won't put it in. President Obama is intent on admitting thousands of refugees from terrorist hotspots to the United States, but House Republicans failed to negotiate screening protection for the influx in last year's omnibus spending bill, according to Representative Brian Babin. Then they wonder why we're pissed at them, why we're tired of their bullshit. Maybe shit like this is what we're tired of. The lies. If you vote us in, we will fight Obama tooth and nail. Great, we're in. Yeah. Oh, you don't want that in? Yeah, okay. Okay, that's a non-starter. Okay, we won't put it in. I'm sorry, Democrats, I'm sorry. Please forgive it. What the frig? Frickin'. This is the shit I am tired of, people. They promised me that they were going to have it in there and that they would fight for it. And when it didn't get in there, I asked them, and they said it was a non-starter with the Democrats. Babin reported. There was no negotiations with the Democrats whatsoever that would wind up with that in there, they were told. Babin added that while last year the effort to use funding measures to focus the Obama administration to increase its screening protocols for refugees from Syria and other areas concerned failed. He is optimistic about a renewal effort this year. I've got high hopes that we're going to see some action here. I was very disappointed it didn't happen in December with the omnibus, and none of the language got in there at that point. But this time, I'm hoping that it does happen. I wouldn't hold my breath, Babin. I wouldn't even sneeze for it. They keep promising they're going to do stuff, and they never do. Then he put forth bills that Babin and 50 other Republican House members called on to include language from the House-passed American Security Against Foreign Enemies Act, the SAFE Act, and the upcoming fiscal year 2017 Homeland Security Appropriation Bill. The language the lawmakers seek to include would restrict admission of refugees from hotbeds of terrorism, specifically Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Syria, Yemen, unless they have been subject to enhanced screening protocols and certified as not a security threat by the FBI Director, DHS Secretary, and the Director of National Intelligence. Yeah, I don't believe they will put that in. It's still an extremely dangerous, reckless program that this president seems bent upon having. Even though his FBI director, his Secretary of Homeland Security, they both tell him that they cannot properly screen these people. But he continues to double down. Babin again said. Again, this is the shit that people are tired of. The lies. This is what the Republicans have been telling us, and they don't understand why we're upset at them. They just don't get it. U.S. citizens ordered out of Turkey by State Department as safety can no longer be assured. Yeah, let's throw some rocks at ISIS over there. Sorry, I'm looking at something real quick. And I am sick and tired of the Republicans promising they're going to do stuff. They haven't done anything to secure our safety. They haven't even attempted. They promise they're going to stop. They're going to start fighting for us. But the first chance or the first instance of resistance, they give up. It's disheartening. And then they wonder why people are backing Trump so much. Why we're not listening to him anymore. Why we don't give a shit what they say anymore. They are liars. They do not fight for the country. It's still an extremely dangerous, reckless program that this president seems bent upon having. Oh, wait a minute. Whoops. I forgot to lower the page. I'm a blonde. And just to show that we're having issues, The FBI probing 17 armed Middle Eastern men chanting Allah Akbar type stuff in a California desert. God dang it. How many times do I have to clean the same glass for a fingerprint smudge? This is why I never wear my glasses. The FBI is now investigating a group of 17 Middle Eastern men camping in the Mojave Desert who were briefly detained on Easter Sunday, then released after a 911 phone call was made to the Victor Valley Sheriff's Station alleging that they had fired over 100 shots in the area. They were up all night chanting Allah Akbar type stuff. An unidentified police officer was heard saying on an audio recording from a police scanner that was posted online. According to the local newspaper, Victorville Daily Press, a witness hiking in the Deep Creek Hot Springs region that same day described what he saw. I was about 50 feet away from the hot tub and saw them fire about 6 to 8 shots. I could see them near the hot tub talking and shooting. I said, I'm out of here. These guys are crazy, and decided to leave. As I started heading up the trail, I could see them shooting through the canyon. They were shooting towards the hills where people were camping. Officials say the men were cooperative as they were detained and searched after a helicopter was able to locate them from up above. On Monday, San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department spokesman Jody Miller reportedly said in an interview with the Los Angeles Times that none of the men interviewed yesterday were identified as terrorists. And note that they were cooperative with deputies. Yeah, that doesn't mean that they're not, doesn't mean they are. But when you do something like that, it doesn't exactly make you sound credible. A local CBS News affiliate in Los Angeles reported that several handguns, a rifle, and a shotgun were found on the men, several of which were described on police scanners as wearing turbans. However, a record check found all the weapons were registered with the exception of a single rifle, which reportedly did not have a serial number because it was purchased in parts. A tweet, shots fired at campers, hikers in Apple Valley, Hot Springs, California. Terrorism update. The group of men were eventually released because they reportedly had no outstanding warrants or criminal records, and there was no evidence that a crime had been committed. However, the FBI is reportedly working with local authorities to determine if any crimes were committed. Heck with it. The problem is, if there's several reports of them shooting, they'd be able to tell if those guns were fired. And if they're firing in the vicinity where anybody is, that is a crime. And it's not hard to detect if a rifle or a handgun has been fired recently. Anybody that's been around any type of firearm knows the smell of burnt gunpowder. And no, it doesn't dissipate anytime quickly. Also on Monday, the FBI announced that they were able to crack the iPhone used by Saeed Rizwan Farouk, the radical Islamic terrorist who carried out the massive shooting with his Pakistani-born wife, Tashfeen Malik. The terrorist attack left 14 dead and 22 wounded. An Israel firm technology was used to break the iPod's supposedly unbreakable encryption. Now, the area the men were encompasses San Bernardino County, where the devastating December 2nd terrorist attack took place. I can understand people's fear and being a little jumpy. On the other hand, Farouk gives a perfect example of somebody that was investigated prior, found not to have any terroristic ties, and released. Now, again, we can't go around committing people because of accusations. But this is something that needs to be looked into further so we do not have something like San Bernardino happen again. It could have just been a bunch of guys that thought it would be funny to scare the shit out of people, and they're not thinking of the consequences that could come about it. Young men being stupid. We've all been there at one time or another where we were young, dumb, and thought something would be funny and did not think about the consequences that would come about. So I'm not going to label these guys as terrorists just because they're from the Middle East, but idiocy like that, even if it is a prank, a joke, it's what gives certain groups the bad name. I think it's in Australia, I forget what country, you have those kids that were running around doing pranks. One would dress up as a white robe and all that, with a backpack, would throw the backpack at people, take off running. Another time they had a fake AK-47 and would play a soundbite where it sounded like the gun was going off. They'd be hanging out of a window, and it was scaring the shit out of people. And they thought it was funny. They still think it's funny to this day. They don't understand what they did wrong. But how many people did that enforce their hate? They don't think it's a joke at the time. How much fear was put into them is going to stay with them. The kids thought it was funny, and it's not. And it's not because I'm getting older, because now I can look at it and go, holy shit, that could cause problem for people down the road. Because someone's going to immediately think, oh, shit, here it goes. Or it's going to be, oh, it's just a prank. Who gives a shit? And a bomb's going to blow up. Youth does not think about what happens down the road. They just think of what will be funny at that moment. Oh, the youth. I don't know. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense, trying to make sense out of the senseless, right here on hbpundit.com and shrmedia.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Kafka was stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverbcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reverb Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reverb of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. Welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to join the conversation, go to shrmedia.com, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch a live stream of the show, go to Reaver.one, click on the live show button. If you want to support SHR Media, or if you want to support Reaver of Common Sense, go to Reaver.one, click on the Reaver store, pick yourself up a t-shirt, coffee mug, or a Reaver jersey, SHR Media jersey, and many other items to choose from. It's a new store, just opened this week. I'll be adding more items as time goes on. University of Wisconsin-Madison to hire more counselors to address microaggressions. What the hell has this country come to? The University of Wisconsin Madison is in the process of hiring more counselors after students claim that the university has a problem with microaggression and racial bias. Chancellor Rebecca Blank recently announced the university plans to accelerate the hiring of additional student support counseling service for student mental health issues related to diversity and climate. She also mentioned plans to have incoming freshmen attend a newly designed cultural competency program that aims to rid students of their bias before future transgressions are committed against the university's social minority. So people having their own opinion are being wiped out. You either think as the majority or you don't think at all. This college is doing away with free speech after college after college after college. People need to get some thick skin and stop being such pussies. Basically, that's what they are. Oh my God, he said something that offended me. Oh, I need a safe space. Oh my God. That is the problem when we teach our kids and we bring them up that everybody's a winner. You should get a medal. You should get a medal. You should get a medal too. Everybody's a winner. No, they're not. People lose. It's part of life. Learn it. Understand it. Accept it. The best ways you learn from life are from your failures, your mistakes. You learn more from those. this goddamn culture we have here, raising a bunch of pussies. You said something that upset me. You know what? I get offended God knows how many times a day. But yet, I don't stop people from doing or saying what they want. In support of this student-led plan, I'm going to commit resources out of the Chancellor's office to provide short-term funding for 2 dedicated positions for student mental health issues related to diversity and climate. This will allow us to hire before permanent funds become available. Recruitment for these positions will begin immediately. Blank listed 4 initiatives designed to combat these campus climate issues. A pilot program of culture competency activities for new students starting in fall 2016. More counseling service at University Health Service. An improved campus culture center model. A university-wide session on hate incidents and campus disciplinary procedures after students return next week from spring break. Well, as much as I don't like hate speech, guess what? That's free speech. As long as you're not inciting violence, promoting violence, you have the right to say what you want. It's not freedom of speech unless you offend me. Freedom of speech unless you upset me. It's freedom of speech. The changes were prompted by Twitter hashtag the real UW, which attempted to bring light to campus issues of racial bias, microaggressions, and discrimination. According to the students, a common microaggression is students assuming that African American peer is an athlete on basis of their skin color. The Latin American students claim that she has been on the receiving end of microaggressions based on her cultural heritage, detailing her experience with peers wanting to guess her ethnicity and others assuming that she is a good cook. Another incident in its influence Blank's new policy involved a Vietnamese student who was allegedly spit on by a middle-aged white man who told her to go back to China. The university is also focused on combating some of the alleged issues that have occurred on Yik Yak, such as one comment that criticized an African-American student for claiming to be oppressed despite attending the university on a full scholarship. Oh my God. I am seeking a partnership with students, faculty, and staff who have ideas and initiatives that address culture and behavioral change. It is very clear that we still have much work to do in our community. Well, I guess we're going to have to shut down movies such as White Men Can't Jump, because that's a microaggression and a fallacy about white men. I guess all the jokes about the male anatomy of white men needs to end. There's just as many fallacies and false ideas about white people as there is about any other culture. But those are okay because they do not involve the minority. Only the minority are protected nowadays. If you're white, it's your fault. Well, I'm getting sick of that shit. I'm getting sick of told about my white privilege. I'm getting sick and fucking tired of being told everything's my fault. But you know what? This microaggression is getting really tiresome, really old. Our country has turned into weak people. Doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what your ethnicity or your nationality is. We are turning into a weak people. And ripe for the taking. And if you think your socialist programs are going to help, they're not. Your socialist programs are going to enslave you even more. Because with socialism, you don't have control. When you start giving up control to the government, you lose control. And that is what's happening in this country. And the ones that are fighting against it, fighting for the freedoms, fighting for people's rights, are the conservatives. But people want to give up their freedoms for an appearance of safety. Safety is an illusion. And it's... We're going down a road that is not good, people. I know I keep saying that, and I don't know what the answer is. I don't think there's an answer. But that doesn't mean we give up. We keep fighting. We got to turn around what has happened the last 7 years. And no, not because he's black, but because he's a socialist. The socialist programs that he's pushed. A lot of false numbers have been put up to make it look like he is doing good. This country isn't doing any better. It is colleges like this that are creating a weak nation. People not got to stop worry about being upset about something somebody said. Learn to laugh at yourself and go on. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop worrying about the past. Go on with the future. Learn from the past. Understand the past, but don't live in the past. Because there is no future in the past. These microaggression bullshit, it's exactly that. Bullshit. I could stand here, scream, shout, yell, cuss, stand on my head. Well, if I could do that, that'd be a miracle. It's not promoting a good country. Not everybody's going to get along, and this ideology that everybody is a winner and everybody should be singing Kumbaya and getting along is going to create more problems. It's going to create a false sense of safety. It's going to create this false ideology that everybody gets along. And then when they get out into the real world and a shock hits them, then you wonder why they go nuts. Why do you think these kids are going nuts and doing shit? Because they've been told they're a winner, and as soon as they fail at something, oh God, what have we done? Well, that does it for my show today. And if you remember, today's Wednesday. That means 8 p.m. tonight on shrmedia.com. You can catch the Reaver After Dark with the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Jersey Crash. And, of course, I will hear Jersey Crash say, I may not make it on tonight. Every week he calls me up. I don't know if I'm going to be making it on tonight, which makes me laugh. One of these days he's going to prove me right and be like, can't make it on. Bye. But, yes, tonight, 8 p.m. right here on shrmedia.com is Reaver After Dark with Jersey Joe and Jersey Crash. Tune in. It's two idiots talking about politics and everyday issues. And then tomorrow, we will be back 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on shrmedia.com and HB Pundit. You've been listening to The Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hbpundit.com and shrmedia.com.